Hello, my beautiful sisters and brothers. Welcome to the video. You've been waking up every day feeling the weight of a job that doesn't see you, doesn't pay you what you're worth, and on top of all that, drains you of your joy. You've smiled when you wanted to scream, shown up when you wanted to walk out the door, and carried burdens that were never yours to carry. But now it's time to go. Let's talk about how to quit with grace and not gripes, even when the environment was anything but that. Sis, we are not going to sugarcoat this. That job, it was toxic, too much work, too little pay, too many expectations, and for far too little appreciation. You gave it your best, your all, and in return, you got stress-induced headaches, anxiety every Sunday night before Monday, and that constant feeling of just being on edge. You weren't just doing your job, you were managing your emotions, navigating other people's insecurities, and trying to maintain your own peace in the middle of professional chaos. It's okay to admit that you didn't love it. You cried in your car, that you questioned yourself, that you stayed longer than you should have, because that's what strong Black women are taught to do, but not anymore. Let's talk about some of the lessons that you learned while you were going through this struggle. Even in the mess, you learned. You learned how to walk through tension, how to recognize when people project their pain onto others, how to protect your own peace in the middle of someone else's storm. You learned when to speak up, hopefully, and even more, when to move in silence. And now you're choosing you not out of anger, but out of alignment. You're not quitting because you're weak. You're quitting because you're wise. This isn't a retreat, sis. This is a reclaiming. And when you leave, you're not going to burn the building down. You're going to rise above it gracefully. So here's how I want to encourage your next best self. And I want to remind you of a few things. You are allowed to walk away from what no longer serves you. Remember, you only have one life. You are allowed to leave the job that left you emotionally depleted. You are allowed to choose peace, protection, and purpose. And guess what? You don't have to explain or justify your decision to anyone. You don't owe anyone your pain story. You don't need a mic drop moment to prove your power. Grace is your mic drop. So walk out like a woman who knows her value, like a woman who no longer needs permission to be free. So let's jump into this, quitting with grace and not gripes. First of all, you want to draft a calm professional resignation letter. Keep it short, polite, and focused on your departure date and gratitude for the experience. Then you want to give appropriate notice. Remember, 2 weeks is still standard unless you're in a toxic emergency. Then protect your mental health accordingly. You also want to avoid venting at work. Save the full tea for your journal, your therapist, or your trusted friends. And also document everything. Make sure you leave with copies of important records, contacts, or anything that you might need for your next move, your level up. Then plan your exit outfit, because nothing says I'm leaving like a boss better than walking out looking like one. Let's now wrap up this healing call to action. Write the resignation letter, but write it with peace in your pen. Clean out your desk, but take your dignity with you. Say all of the goodbyes, but leave the bitterness behind. And when you step out that door for the last time, do not look back. Look forward, because your next chapter isn't about surviving. Remember, it's about thriving. Let them say, she left with her head high. Let them wonder how you stayed classy when they showed you chaos. Let them feel your absence. And most of all, let you feel your freedom. Remember, you're not just leaving a job, you're stepping up into power. And sis, you're doing it with style and grace. So let's heal and level up together. Peace.